Deals. Stay, buddy.
All right, I think we are ready to get started. I promised Mayor Trevino I wouldn't spit on the microphone, so I'll try not to do that. But again, my name is Mark Hyman. I have the pleasure of serving as the city manager for the city of North Richland Hills. Craig, I'm very excited that this is being YouTube live. This will be the most viewers on any YouTube channel that I have participated in, so I'll get my numbers way up. Again, under normal circumstances, we'd like to have this be a big event. We'd like to have more people out here, but however, with social distancing and concerns with regard to the spread of COVID, we have made the decision to limit it, and we appreciate everybody's cooperation with that. And we're still celebrating, even though we're celebrating a little differently than we have in the past. 2 years ago, we met right up here at City Hall with Bernard Moyetta and his Centurion American staff, and we looked out at this property here and discussed a potential opportunity that they had, a vision that they had for this property. And I think it's not a secret that we had been working with a number of people, and we've been pitching this to a number of different developers and ideas. And Craig, it's just a number of frogs in trying to get this to where we are at this point. We felt like with Centurion American, we found somebody who could actually pull this project together. And so we started out on the process of putting together a deal on that. And that deal was rather complex and involved, and had a number of people. I think one time at our first meeting, we probably had twice this number here of consultants in one meeting. And I'm glad that most of them were on his tab rather than ours. But again, it was a deal that required a lot of participation, and that's why we wish we could have a bigger event, because there were a lot of people that helped participate to get us to this point today. Right. Again, we worked over the next year in putting together districts, getting the zoning and all the plans set in motion. It was not an easy deal. We particularly want to thank Tarrant County, and we have some representatives from Tarrant County here today. Thank you very much for your participation directly in this through the tax reinvestment zone. That was key to making it happen, and we appreciate that very much. City Point, this whole City Point development project, City Hall for that matter, none of that would exist without the leadership and guidance of our City Council. And we're fortunate to have a forward-thinking City Council that works with our residents, they work with the development community, and importantly, they work with each other in order to make sure that the best of the interests of the city are carried on in the long-term interest. At the head of the City Council, we have Mayor Oscar Trevino, and I'm going to ask Mayor Trevino to come up to the podium and to share some of the story of how we got to this point. So, Mayor Trevino.
Thank you, Mark. Without first, I have to apologize for Mark calling you a frog. But I guess a frog on the west side of the Metroplex is a good thing, so we're okay with frogs, I guess. Well, good morning, and thank you for joining us to celebrate this momentous occasion. I'm real grateful I get to speak, because then I can take my mask off for a minute and actually breathe. I thank y'all for being here and wearing masks and doing our social distancing to do all we can so that we don't fill up medical cities with a bunch of us in COVID. So I'd like to start with Mayor Pro Tem Scott Turnage and his wife Tiffany. Scott, where's Tiff? Back over here. Councilman Tito Rodriguez, Councilwoman Susie Compton, Councilwoman Rita Wright-Ojeski, and from Tarrant County, who's a key partner in City Point, and we want to make sure we're recognized for their support today. Catherine Rotter from Judge Whitley's office. Catherine, thank you for joining us. Rebecca Barksdale from Commissioner Fickus's office. And then Lisa McMillan from Tarrant County. Lisa, thank you for being here. I said thank you to you the other night in your presentation at the Mayor's Council. Our state senator is Kelly Hancock, and from his office we have Susan Young here. Kelly sent me a text right after the announcement in D Magazine about a story in D Magazine, and he congratulated us on finally getting something done here. Mark Mark Dana from Medical City North Hills as the CEO. Mark, thank you. I know it's very important to you what happens here, to you and the folks at Medical City North Hills. And then finally, I'd like to recognize city staff here in attendance. From our city manager's office, our city manager, Mark Hyman, who you heard from, our deputy city manager, Paulette Hartman, assistant city manager, Karen Bostic.
Back here.
Oh, Karen Manila, I'm sorry. City attorney, Melissa McGinnis. City secretary, Alicia Richardson. Our managing director of public safety, Jimmy Perdue. Our managing director of infrastructure and capital projects, Mike Curtis. And then our managing director of community service, Vicki Loftus. And of course, Craig Hulse from economic development. I got to tell you that everybody else, without staff, we couldn't do it. We have fantastic staff members that did a great job through Mark's leadership, through Karen Manila's budget and finance department, from everybody, and Craig. We've done a great, got some great folks here. And Clayton, I'm sorry, I just recognized you. Clayton Comstock, our planning director. So the land we're standing on was originally part of Callaway Farm. It's a 2,100 acre farm established in the late 1800s by Marsh and Catherine Callaway. When North Richmond Hills was founded in 1953 as a suburb of Fort Worth, this particular site was considered the outskirts of town. While the city started to grow northward along Boulevard 26, this was the final 100 acres of Callaway Farm until 1979. That wasn't that long ago, when North Hills Mall was developed. We're excited to celebrate the next chapter in the life of this property. The task of redeveloping this area has been a long-standing goal of the city and for the city council. The City Point development could not have happened without certain events and decisions taking place. First was the city's decision to be patient. When the mall closed in 2004, of course there was tremendous disappointment in losing the mall, and it had some financial impact on the city's budget. But looking at what malls are going through today, in hindsight, maybe we were ready for the pandemic financially. Fortunately, though, the tax base was diverse and the city was rapidly growing. Therefore, we were able to plan for the long term and to be patient. Second was a major transportation event that initially forced us to take a step back, but ultimately allowed us to take a step forward. In 2011, the widening of Airport Freeway and Loop 820 was necessary, but it impacted our old city hall. A citizens committee was formed to study the situation, determine options, and make recommendations. Again, Medical City North Hills, which was North Hills Hospital at the time, helped us because Randy Morsey from Medical City was the chair of that group. At the time, we had no idea, but the committee concluded that the relocating City Hall to this piece of property was the best option, as it not only consolidated numerous city services into one location, but it served as an anchor, breaking the ice for redevelopment and revitalization inside the loop. Once the decision was made to relocate City Hall, a third event was necessary in order to fund the relocation and construction. In May of 2012, our citizens overwhelmingly approved $48 million in general obligation bonds to help pay for the project. Keep in mind, this was at the tail end of the Great Recession. The economy was still struggling, and any increase in taxes was a difficult topic. As a result, construction on the new City Hall began in May of 2013, and exactly 3 years later, on May 13, 2016, the city celebrated the grand opening. Looking back, the decision to relocate, the selection of this site, and the requisite financial support was a total community effort and a prime example of engaging, involving, and empowering our citizens. Finally, and most important, we have to establish and maintain a vision for the property that best fit our community. Over the past 15 years, goals and objectives were established and resources were dedicated in order to keep this property at the top of our mind and attractive to the development and to the investment communities. While attractive, the property was not easy to redevelop. In 1999, the previous owner had paid for a regional mall, and their asking price for the property reflected that it was a regional mall. The existing infrastructure had deteriorated over time to the point of needing to be replaced, which added, of course, cost to the already high land price. Finally, the city's vision demanded a high quality and sustainable development, which limited the pool of potential developers that could take on such a project. That brings us to today. The Centurion American Development Group, led by Pradad Moyedi, and in late 2018, we were pleased to hear that Centurion was interested in the property and were eager to work with it. We knew about their ability to effectively work with cities, investors, landowners, financial institutions, and vendors to keep a diverse mix of premier projects. In sum, we couldn't think of a better organization and a better partner to develop what we will call City Point. Pradad, on behalf of the City of North Richland Hills, thank you to you and your team for choosing and investing in North Richland Hills and in City Point. With that, Pradad Moyedi.
Mayor, thank you. I want to thank the staff, the council members. They treated us fair. That's all you can ask for when you come to the city. For me, this is somewhat of a homecoming. I grew up down the street in L.D. Bell High School, and we were proud to be here. And the way the council treated us, the way the staff has treated us, we're grateful, and we're going to reciprocate that, making sure we do what we say we're going to do here. And the project's important to us. It's a mixed-use project. We truly believe in it. And I feel like we're on the way to get it done in a very short order because it's got a great mix of homes, multifamily, and retail and restaurants. So we're going to live up to our promises. Again, I'm thankful for all the help that you've given us. You mentioned everybody, but I got to thank Clayton too. He treats this thing like it's his own yard. I mean, he's meticulous about everything, and he makes sure that everything is done right. We're so appreciative of that, and the city manager and assistant city manager. We've had a few meetings lately. We've had to discuss some new things, and we're committed to the project. My staff, I've got a young man that's been working on this project. That's probably one of the first ones that he took from the beginning. Trevor, I can't tell you how much proud I am. These days they say the young guys don't have good work habits. That kid does. He's awesome, and I'm proud of him. Our Sean Terry, who's actually mayor of Solana, he's here to make sure that we say the right thing politically and keep up with everything. And we got our marketing department that's out here, Courtney and all her staff. So we're committed to the project, and we can't be more thankful for being here. And hopefully we'll live up to all your standards, and if something goes wrong, we'll fix it. That's my promise to the project. Having said that, thank you so much for letting us be here and go from here. Thank you.
Okay, this is going to be a groundbreaking COVID style. So just want to give you a little bit of housekeeping items. We're going to be taking multiple photos and having different phases of the shovel hitting the dirt. But I want to call your attention to some hard hats over here and some gloves. Many of you here, especially in the first two rows, you will be sequestered to get behind the dirt and be there for a photo op, but I encourage you to grab some gloves before you do that, before you touch the shovels, because we will be passing shovels back and forth. So for starters, I'd like to call up Merdad, Trevor, Sean, Mayor, Trevino, and Mark for the first round of photos. Okay, Craig, we're going to be on that side or this side of the show? That side, Mayor, yes. And then also, why don't Courtney's going to be directing you guys, okay? But let's have a photo with masks. Maybe one down, real quick.
First one will be with masks. Mark is going to take the photo. So if you want to position them.
Oh, you want to get some dirt in the shovel?
You come in a little on the end right there. Okay. Okay, look at me. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Now we throw it.
Where are we going? Down front.
Okay.
Count.
There you go.
Count it
Yeah,
down
you can
for
throw
us.
it. I'm not counting down for throw.
1, 2, 3, go.
Okay, keep going. There's a lot more to dig.
Perfect. All right.
Okay, City Council. Mayor Dodd, you mind joining City Council? I'll do whatever you tell me. Okay, if you don't mind remaining, is that okay, Mayor? Yes, definitely.
Whoa. Think I can get the job done out here? Yeah.
Oh,
We need extra.
no, we should be good.
Okay.
Susie, Rita? Rita? Mark? Mark? You won't do a hard hat with your hair.
No, we're not doing hard hat. Okay. Big love my hair.
I was worried about my hair too.
All right,
Not the
ready?
first time, then the second.
Okay. Everyone look here. Smile with your mask.
Yeah, we're smiling.
Perfect.
And then one without. Let me know when you're ready for that. Want to have them hold up their shovel?
Yep.
So hold up your shovel. Shovel a little bit and hold it up for us.
Okay. Look here. Love it.
Okay. You want me with that one?
Okay.
Then pull mask down. Mask down. It's optional if you want to take it off. You don't have to. Yeah. All right, now
Okay.
do it again.
Smile. 3, 2, 1. Perfect.
Hey, you want to throw the dirt?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, go. There you go. The next,
So, back to grade now.
you went to the next round.
Guys, you sure?
Yeah.
People don't like their pictures being taken. I can.
Okay, thank you guys.
Okay.
Good.
We'll turn these around and we'll send them all to you.
Okay,
So-
yeah, great. And the video too?
Mhm. Yes.
Awesome.